All right, sixth graders, good morning. And maybe this afternoon. I don't know when you're going to take your test. But when you take your test, I want this video for that. I'm preparing you for your test and just giving you a little heads up on what you need to know as you're taking your test. So I want you to have your test open and looking at it. I know this is a little different than what we usually do here at school. Usually I give you a review, then you take your test. And I'm here watching you as you take it, and I cannot do that now. So I want your test to be open, and I want you to follow along as I am talking. This is sixth graders, and so problem number 1, I'm going to read it to you. It says, Todd and Ivan were driving to a wedding in another state. They estimate that they will need to fill their car with fuel twice for about $25 a fill-up, and will spend about $30 for meals along the way. They plan to share the expenses equally. All right, so question A says, how much should they figure for gas? Okay, so look at their gas. There's something you need to look for in what they spent for gas, okay? There is a clue word in what they did for gas. Look for that. Then question B says, how much do they figure for their total expenses? All right, so they had gas and they had food. How much did they spend altogether for their expenses? And then C says, how much should each of them budget for the trip? All right, so remember what we did when we budgeted something? You need to look at their expenses, look how many people there are, and figure out how much should each of them spend for the trip. Or budget for the trip is what they say. All right, number 2. After traveling for 4 hours, Todd and Ivan, same guys again, stopped at a pancake house and bought the following breakfast. They bought a sausage lover's breakfast, they bought a pancake and scrambled egg breakfast, they have an orange juice and a coffee. Question A, round each price to the nearest dollar. Round, guys. Round each of those prices to the nearest dollar and estimate the cost of the meal. How much did they spend altogether? Rounding, that first blank is rounding. Blank B says, what did the meal cost without tax? Okay, so go back to the original prices, and how much did they spend? Not figuring taxes, just how much did their meal cost them? Question C says, what did the meal cost with tax? Okay, so go back to what they spent for their food, and then they had tax on top of that. Remember how to figure tax. All right, down on questions 3 and 4, you're supposed to convert to mixed measures. The first one is 100 ounces. So you're going to have to figure out how many pounds and ounces are in 100. You're going to need to know how many ounces are in a pound, how many inches are in a foot, how many minutes are in an hour. Okay, that's what you're doing. Down on the bottom, you're combining integers. Remember your rules for when you combine a negative and a positive. What do? Do you add? Do you subtract? Remember, what does your answer get? What sign does your answer get? Watch that. All right, your next page is the top of the page, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You're going to be translating into numbers and symbols. The first one says times. Remember what the word times means. Remember what the word is. What does the word is tell you? Then you have one that says divided into. Make sure you have the correct number on top and the correct number on the bottom, okay? Number 8 says the sum. Remember what the clue word is for sum. And number 9 is subtracted from. Sometimes you guys put the wrong number first. Remember, make sure you put the correct number first. 7 subtracted from 8. Which number comes first? Number 10, you have a word problem you're supposed to put into an equation, and then you're solving it. 10 times a number. What does times tell you? And then it says minus 7. So you have 10 times a number minus, what is the word minus? 7 equals 53. Okay? Numbers 11 and 12, they want fractions. What are the fractions for those repeating decimals? And the 3 dimensions of a solid, you guys have had those quite a bit. What are they called when you're figuring volume of a solid? What are those dimensions called? Number 14, A and B, you are multiplying measures. Make sure you go up and you go across, okay? Make sure you do both of those. And then don't leave them unfinished. Remember, if you come up with more than 60 minutes, finish it. If you come up with too many inches, finish it, all right? Make sure you do that. Then you're going to be multiplying and dividing fractions. Remember what you do when you divide fractions. There is a step you need to do when you divide fractions. Remember that. On the top of the next page, you're going to be adding and subtracting fractions. Remember what to do when you don't have a fraction on the top, as in 16a. Hope you remember what you need to do. What do you need to put up on the top before you can subtract? 17, A, B, and C, you're dividing. Go very slowly for this, guys. Okay? Remember, you can check your division by multiplying your answer times your divisor, and then if you have a remainder, you add your remainder. Check your check your dividing. It's very easy to make a mistake when you subtract, and if you subtract wrong way up at the top, your whole answer's wrong. So go slow, and maybe get an extra sheet of paper. Ask your mom for an extra sheet of paper and redo your division problems and make sure that you come out with the right answer. B, you have you're supposed to round to the nearest hundredth. Remember where hundredth is? How many places do you need to go? And then you round. C says NX zeros to complete. So it's going to come out even, obviously. They just tell you to add zeros until you come out evenly. And 18, you're going to find the age of somebody. Just watch. Have they had their birthday yet? Be careful about that. And that is it, guys. Go slow. Oh, I would love to write 100 on every one of your tests. You got it. You can do it. This is your last one. Finish strong. Hope you understand everything. If you don't, you get stuck on something, please ask. If your mom and dad don't know, please ask me. That's what I'm here for. See ya.